All right, what's good, fam? Let's get to it. Um, you ever had them people that's always telling you about what they want and always telling you about what they would do if they had this much amount of money or that much amount of money and how they want this and how they want that? And then you ask them, well, what are you willing to do to get it? Right? Or every time you come up with an idea for a way to make money, they always, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I'm willing to do all that. And you be looking at them like, but I thought you said you wanted to be rich. Now, what's crazy is the same person to go out and buy lottery tickets. You know what I'm saying? Because they want the money, but they don't want to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? And I'm laughing because, to be truthfully honest, I used to be that person. I got a cousin, man. This dude got to be Charlie Hustle, right? Every time you look up and every time I see him, he's like, hey, Corey D, have you ever heard about such and such and such and such? I'm like, nah, I ain't heard of. Oh, I'm telling you, look, cuz that mug, hey, I ain't saying you gonna make a whole bunch of bread, but you can get $30, $40 a week doing this. I'm like, yeah, all right, yeah, well, that sound cool, boy. All right, well, yeah, okay. And never do nothing, right? Or, hey, Corey D, have you heard about such and such and such and such? Oh, yeah, man. Hey, you should get into day trading. I'm telling you, trading options or something. Hey, I'm telling you, it's money in it. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I'll look into that. And weeks and months and years go by and I ain't did nothing. And the real truth of it is I had no intention on ever doing it, right? Because I wanted the results. I wanted the money. I don't get it twisted. Everybody wants to get paid. Everybody wants millions. Everybody wants to wake up one day and now all of a sudden they doing better or they don't have to go to work for a living or they don't want to have this or worry about this. But everybody ain't willing to put in the work. Everybody ain't willing to go in and go put in elbow grease or do whatever they got to do to get it. I will do a quick hustle, but we won't put in nothing that takes that putting in that effort into it, that grinding to go get it, right? We want whatever's going to come easy. And easy come, easy go. But you know what happened to me is one day I woke up one day and I just started seeing so many people who started off in worse situations than I lived in. Started off in the worst circumstances, worse family environment, worse worse everything. And now they getting it. You know what I mean? It's crazy because it ain't like they got more talent than me. They don't speak no more eloquent than me. You know what I'm saying? They not smarter than me. They not nothing. They just wanted it. They just stopped making excuses and started putting in the effort to get something. They just did whatever it took to get whatever it is that they felt like they wanted to have. And excuses was no more an option. And one day I just woke up and was like, you know what? It's time for me to start putting in some effort. And it was crazy because I found out when I started trying that it took almost the same amount of effort to do nothing as it is to do something. I mean, here it is. I was working Rudy Poop butt jobs, working harder than I was when I actually went out to go get a real job. Like when I really started trying to get a career or work towards something that was going to give me some long-term stability, it took me, in fact, I'll be the first to tell you, I was working less when I started getting a real job and real stuff than I was when I was working these little dead-end jobs. It seemed like the more I really started putting in effort to do something, the easier it actually became to achieve something. Now, the difference is yes, I had to think a little harder. I had to think outside the box and come up with strategies and techniques to formulate for me to be able to come up with a new idea. But to be truthfully honest, as far as the work was concerned, oh man, it wasn't that much work at all. And it's crazy because we spend so much time fighting, just being productive and looking for easy ways out, that if we would have took that same amount of effort to put it towards actually becoming something, we would have gotten paid more or we would have achieved more than we did wasting time trying to find ways to circumvent the system. It's the craziest thing in the world. I ain't gonna lie to you. And then I I found myself here lately reading books. I mean, who would have thought that, right? But it's crazy how all of a sudden your mindset shifts the moment you start focusing your attention towards becoming more of a productive person. Like, I'm a person right now that if I was to win the lottery, and I ain't necessarily saying that I'm opposed to it, and I know people might be like, you're a Christian, you're not supposed to play. I didn't say that I was going to go out and blow a stack on that mug. I'm just saying that if I got $2 in my pocket and I should just so happen to stop at a gas station and get a lottery ticket, oh, don't make no mistake about it. I'm paying my tithes and offerings, and as a matter of fact, I'll probably do more than that. But I'm just simply saying, the person that I am now is prepared to be able to handle that money. The person I was before I really started developing myself, oh man, I'd have blew through. I don't care how much money you would have gave me. $1 billion, I'd have blew through that in a heartbeat. And the crazy thing is you wouldn't necessarily blow through it because you just spending money. You'll blow through it because you're not informed. You'll blow through it because you're not educated on what you actually supposed to do with that kind of money. You'll blow through it because you won't understand what it means about paying taxes and giving the IRS back their money and how much money you're supposed to claim and how you're supposed to do this. You'd have been now. I don't even need to know that. I know the people who I would contact as soon as I got the money. I know the things I would do as soon as I got a hold of that money. But I learned that because I started working on myself. I started getting educated. I started educating myself. I started instead of sitting around watching dumb videos about people slap boxing or street fights and ignorant people fighting and ignorant people cussing and the Karens and whatever the other dude is, the dude's name for Karen or whatever it is. Instead of watching all that dumb stuff, I started watching videos. I started listening to podcasts like Social Proof and Secret to Success and Wall Street Trapper, and start listening to people who doing something with money and telling you what you need to be doing with money in the event that you get the money. You know, I was always told that even if you play the lottery, if you just play the lottery, you need to always prepare yourself for what you would do if you actually win it. See, everybody wants something, but everybody's not prepared to deal with what you're going to do with in that opportunity when you get that opportunity. If you're asking for success, are you prepared mentally, emotionally for dealing with the success you're asking for? Are you prepared to be able to put in the work necessary to make sure that you can maintain what it is that you have in the event that you get it? I make no mistake about it. When you broke and you hanging around people who live paycheck to paycheck, it's easy to think you'll never blow through millions of dollars. But get millions of dollars and start hanging around people who got billions of dollars and see how quick your millions go. Get around people who got millions of dollars, but they worked for their millions of dollars, or they've been having millions for years. And now you come up on millions of dollars and see how quick your millions go. Everybody say they want something. But if you truly want something in this life, I don't care what it is. I don't care how minuscule the amount is. I don't care if you want $1,000, you need to figure out how to live with $1,000. If you want $100, you need to figure out how you need to live with $100. I started preparing myself for success a couple of years ago. Actually, I think it was last year. Last year, as a matter of fact, financial. I mean, because I'm just a person who, I'm one of those people. Let me give you an example of the type of person that I am. I'm a person who will ask for $1,000, right? Like, man, if I could just get $1,000, Lord, I'm telling you, I just need $1,000. And somebody hit me up and be like, hey, Corey, I got this job for $150. You want to do it? Oh, yeah, I'll come do it, man. That wasn't, man, it's $150. I need $1,000, Lord. I need $1,000. So I get that $150 and blow it, right? Next thing I know, I'm like, man, Lord, I need $1,000. Somebody would call me and be like, hey, Corey, or some little job will come up and be like, Corey, you want to make a quick $300? Yeah, I got quick $300 all year. I got, man, Lord, I said I needed $1,000. Man, it's just $300. Man, I'm going to blow this $300. Man, oh, man, this is what's up. I got a blessing for $500. Man, $500. Man, it ain't $1,000, man. You know what I'm saying? Man, I just blow this money, man. It ain't $1,000. Lord, I said I need $1,000. Man, another opportunity for 100 here, another 200 here, another $50 here, another $300 here, another this here, but it wasn't $1,000, so I just blew it. Next thing you know, I look up and I'm like, man, Lord, I need $1,000. He like, Corey, I sent you $4,000 in 50s and you still at what point was you ever going just because I didn't give you $1,000 all at once, you were sitting there praying for $1,000. I sent you 4 of them and you just squandered it all, right? So I realized that about myself. So last year, I went on this fast and I said, I'm not going to spend any money if it costs more than $100. If it costs $100 and a penny, I can't buy it. $99.99, we good. $100 even, we good. But I can't spend nothing if it costs me more than $100. And I stuck to that for a whole year. And it was the wildest thing ever because I realized how much money I was just blowing. Because you'll buy something and you'll think to yourself, oh man, it's just $125. That ain't nothing. That's $125. Oh man, that's just $200 and something. I tell you what, I'll put it on a credit card and then I'll just pay that mug off in 2 paychecks. It'll be good, man. You know what I'm saying? But all that stuff I was buying, at the end of the year, I would look up and be like, I got all this stuff. And half the stuff that I done spent money on, I didn't even use, right? And I started figuring that out and started realizing how wasteful I was with money. So I'm sitting here talking about I want millions and I want to be successful, but I wasn't even prepared. If you can't be faithful over $100, if you can't be faithful over the 10s and 15s and the 20s and the 100s, how you expect to be faithful over 100,000? How you expect to be faithful over 1 million? How you expect to be faithful over 100 million? If you can't take care of the little bit of money, if you can't get yourself prepared to be able to manage little money, how can you be expected to manage big money? That's a biblical principle. If you can't be faithful over a few things, you can't be faithful over much. And on the surface, it seemed like we think because we just want it so bad, we think that wanting it is going to make us be responsible, but wanting it ain't enough. If you ain't got that kind of self-control, you just going to squander the blessing. That's why you don't get it. So I got to a place where I was like, you know what, Lord, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you something to work with. I'm going to prepare myself to be the type of a person that if you put $1,000 in my pocket, I'm going to be responsible with $1,000. You put $1 million in my pocket, I'm going to be responsible with $1 million. You put $100 million in my pocket, I'm going to be responsible with $100 million. And I have learned that I don't necessarily have to be knowledgeable in everything to do with the money. I just have to be humble enough to be able to go to the right people. Stop being like, oh man, if I go to those people, they're going to take my money. Yeah, they are. They get paid to tell you what to do with your money. So of course they need your money. That's how they get fed. They get fed by being able to tell you, Corey, this is what you need to do with your money. And if you really want to be responsible, you need to listen to them. See, I've paid attention to all the people that if I came up on that kind of money real quick, let me be the person who, first and foremost, I'm really hoping that Missouri really is serious about making this a no-tell state, because I don't want to have to let nobody know I got this money, but I'm prepared for it if it happens. But anyway, that's another subject. Because I'm also working towards getting this money, not just the lottery. I know somebody hear this and be like, he just keep talking about the lottery. Man, my wife played the lottery. I'm going to be honest with you. And if she buy a ticket and we win, we win. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying it. But personally, I'm trying to figure out other ways to do it. But you never know what's going to work, right? You never know what stone is going to turn over. You should be diligent in all things to be able to figure out what might actually work. Turn over every stone. You never know which one of them is. How many people made a YouTube video? Just crazy. I remember I watched it on one of those like House Hunters or something about the little dude that made the video. I'm bored in the house and I'm in the house bored. I'm bored. And it went viral. And now he bought his grandmother's old house and fixed it up. With that much money off of you never know at what moment something is going to change for you. But you have to be prepared. You have to be ready because you never know that season of change that's going to come in your life and what it's going to look like and how fast it is. And you don't get a chance. You got to stay ready so that when the opportunity come, you ready. You can't wait till the opportunity come and then get ready. It don't work like that. You'll squander it. You'll be so happy you got it. I got a line item detailed of what I would do the moment something happens to me, the moment that blessing befalls on me. I know exactly what I would do. This is who I'm going to contact first. This is what I'm going to do with the money. Before I ever spend a dollar on this, and this, I want to pay my tithes and offerings. I want to put this much amount of money into an insurance policy. I want to put this much amount of money into IRAs or whatever something else is. I want to take this amount of money and I want to put it in real estate. I want to take this amount of money and I want to put it in here. Now I can spend some money on myself. But I've already made that plan. I've already said this is the way it's going to be, so that the moment that opportunity comes, I'm already mentally prepared. I'm already mentally prepared because I said that this is what I wanted, and I started preparing myself to receive it instead of waiting for that opportunity to come and just hope that I'll be all right. Everybody say they want something, but everybody's not prepared to be able to receive that blessing should that blessing come to them. If you say you really want something, don't just sit back and wait for somebody to give you something. Prepare yourself in the event that somebody does give it to you, but be willing to work for it, because you don't know. You might create an opportunity or create an idea that makes it so that you can have everything you've ever wanted, but be willing to put in the work, because you'll appreciate it a whole lot more. You'll appreciate that money if you had to grind for it. Oh man, when I started working and I started buying stuff and I started asking myself how many hours I had to work to actually afford to pay for something, oh, it drastically changed how I started spending my money. I ain't getting ready to tell you I was responsible quick with it, but I got to a point where I did respect it. I did respect it. Man, I got to work 3 hours to pay for it. Oh man, this ain't worth 3 hours worth of work. Cause now then I start breaking it down, like, which 3 hours was it? Was it 3 hours when such and such and such and such was going on? Oh man, that was hell. That ain't even worth 3 hours. Not 3 hours of them hours. Not them 3 hours. Now, 3 hours of these hours over here. Oh yeah, I sit around and I do that for 3 hours, but I put the effort and the thought into it, because then it made me more responsible with my resources. I started being more responsible. So therefore I was preparing myself to be a person that I could have something should that opportunity present itself. If you say you want something, prepare yourself for it. Prepare yourself for it. You never know what way is going to open up for you to have everything that you ever asked for and everything you ever wanted. All right, that's my 2 cents on the 2-piece, y'all. Y'all be blessed.